The Legend of Catasis Velon and the Caemarie. Read by Benjamin Jackson. Chapter 3. Deployment. The next morning I had walked through the courtyard that could be viewed from outside my window to the entrance of the princess's royal chambers located deep behind the castle walls. 2 square stone towers rose into the gray and cloudy sky as the sun was climbing higher in the east. Huge rectangular tapestries hung down that bore the royal Canterlot emblem embroidered onto the 50-foot tapestry. The 2 armed guards standing on either side of the entranceway watched me carefully as I approached. "Good morning, my good sirs," I called out. I was a well-known dignitary and had done many missions for the princesses before, and was on a first-name basis with most of the guards around the castle. "Aye, and you, Sir Audiowave," one replied. The 2 armed guards of the watch eyeballed me as I passed between them and entered the hall. I started along the red carpet that had not a single speck upon it, that led down a central corridor towards the throne room where most of Canterlot's private meetings took place. Along the walkway, giant stained glass windows stood like monoliths 40 feet high to the ceiling, commemorating the princesses of the realm, Princess Celestia, Princess Luna, Twilight, and Cadence. Magical wall sconces blazing with fire even during the day decorated the 150-foot-long hallway that led to the throne room. The entrance of the main chamber had a gigantic stone archway over the 20-foot solid wooden oak doors, and it was guarded by 2 ponies in golden armor, each holding long spears and short swords as sidearms. These were the princess's personal honor guard protectors, and the last line of defense for any intruders. They had probably been in the service of the kingdom for most of their lives, and Audio would not trifle with any of them. "Good morning, Sir Battlehammer," I greeted him. "Pleasure to see you again." "Aye," said the guard on the left. "And you, Sir Audiowave. The princesses are expecting you," he grumbled, dispensing with the formalities. "You may enter," the guard on the right said. These guards always took their jobs seriously and would be ready to jump into battle at any moment. "Thank you, kind gentle ponies," said Audiowave as he entered, then turned around and bowed to them as a token of respect. Walking into the throne room, it was beautifully lit with sunshine. The main chamber room never ceased to amaze him. Glass sky windows decorated the ceiling and allowed light to enter the room. Special reflectors collected the light and reflected it back, igniting it with an exquisite brilliance. The chandelier and sky fixtures probably had more glass in them than Audio had ever seen anywhere in the world. The grand hall was truly grand, and it rivaled any of the other great nations' throne rooms. Audio hadn't seen them all, but he had been to many. Wall sconces of fire lined the upper walls. Light and shadow danced among the pillars. Canterlot was truly a grand city. Some equestrian magic Audiowave could never understand. Some unicorns studied magic their entire lives, but Audio could never quite grasp how they spend most of their time reading books. Audiowave was a Pegasus pony, and all Pegasi cherished their wings and lived for the freedom of the open skies. They had a love of all things flying, which couldn't be compared with. The open air on their face, the wind in their feathers. Who wouldn't love soaring over the countryside with the huge powerful wings of eagles? The Pegasi loved to fly, but it was something only intrinsic to them because earth ponies usually preferred to stay on the ground, and so they didn't envy the Pegasi's wings. The unicorns likewise preferred to stick to their magical ways. No, Audio could never understand the lifelong study of magic some unicorns undertake. The dedication to become a great wizard sometimes took hundreds of years. "Welcome!" a powerful voice echoed and startled Audio out of his thoughts. While Audio's head was up and admiring the ceiling glass and sky fixtures, he hadn't realized the group of ponies in front of him. The magical voice belonged to Princess Celestia of the Sun, the keeper of the kingdom. Audio brought his head level and fixed his eyes upon her, then knelt before the altar and bowed with fealty. "Rise, my faithful subject," she commanded with a kind authority. The princess and I knew each other well, and the bowing was just a formality. "Welcome to our great hall. Thank you for coming to the call of the kingdom. You are welcomed with love and admiration for your service to Equestria." Audio slowly rose. The princess herself was a tall white pony with a golden crown upon her head and the emblem of the sun on her flank. To the princess's right stood her beloved sister, Princess Luna of the Moon, Lord of Dreams. And next to her, Princess Cadence from the Crystal Empire, Princess of the Crystal Kingdom. And alongside her, a unicorn apprentice wizard he did not know that had spectacles upon his nose. To Celestia's left was a female winged Pegasus pony with a light tan coat he also did not know, but could surmise this was the ambassador from the land of the Caemarie. Before any proper introductions could be made, the pony all at once threw herself down upon her knees and bowed her head as close to the marble floor as low as it would go, pleading for help for her kingdom. "Great sir, please help our country. The Royal Council has said you are the one that will help us. Please come to our aid. Our country is on the brink of war and is in great peril." Audio took a shocked half-step back with one hoof in the air, then gave a subtle and slight odd look back to Princess Celestia in a questioning look of broken protocol. She was quite visibly shaken and upset. Then the princess stepped forward. "Audio Wave, this is Zephyr Wind, an emissary to the kingdom of the Caemarie. She believes her country may soon be attacked by the Velorn and the creatures of the sea. Canterlot calls upon you, Sir Audio Wave. Will you answer?" Audio looked around, timid, abashed, and self-conscious, then back to the princesses and gave a slight uncomfortable smile. Your Majesty, I could not fight a war to liberate these ponies. I am but one single Pegasus pony, not an army." Celestia beckoned, then said in a quiet voice, "My dear Audio Wave, I do not wish for you to start a war. That is why I am sending you. I wish for you to go to the Caemarie and bring stability to the region. Your kingdom calls upon you." Then Princess Luna stepped in. "We all have great faith in you." Zephyrwind got up from her knees and spoke. "We beg your assistance. Princess Celestia says you have great powers and will serve us well." Audio looked back to the princesses, swallowed, and said, "If the kingdom calls, I will answer," then bowed before the altar. "Good. It is settled. You will accompany Zephyr Wind back to the Caemarie and ascertain the cause of the conflict and find a resolution." "Yes, your Majesty," said Audio Wave. "It is an honor to serve Equestria," then bowed once more and stepped back. The princess's voice rose and presided over all who were there. "You go with our blessing and the goodwill of every pony in Canterlot. Go, and may good fortune lead your hoofprints." The formalities broke, and Zephyr Wind approached Audio. She was a beautiful light brown Pegasus, whose coat was the color of the dark color of the sand of the region. She wore on her many pieces of jewelry, including a gold saddle Arabian necklace plate that hung around her neck, a few gold hoof bands, gold mane clips, and earrings. It was a wonder to Audio she made it here from the Caemarie with as much jewelry as she had on. Then Audio surmised she must have left in a hurry without much warning. She looked decorated, but was not overly bogged down with the useless apparel some dignitaries usually traveled with. She was fit and spoke with a polite confidence. "Hi, I'm Zephyr Wind. Looks like we're going to be working together for a bit," she said, and stuck out her hoof. "Aye," said Audio Wave, and shook it. "The Caemarie thanks you very, very much," she said excitedly. "We greatly need the assistance of Canterlot, and are pleased the princesses decided to send you. Your assistance is much appreciated. Thank you very much. You will not regret it. So what's our next step?" "I need to go back to my chambers and pack for the departure. I will return shortly, then we will leave by nightfall," said Audio Wave. Zephyrwind nodded, and just as Audio began to turn away, she stopped him. Please, we must hurry. I fear there may be an attack on the city soon. The Chancellor and his supporters believe the sacred land of the Caemarie is rightfully theirs under the domain of the Veloran. In essence, they believe we stole the land under their control thousands of years ago when our ancestors first settled on this land. It is critical we return with haste to prevent any further conflict. There are many who are in danger. I fear the new leadership of the Chancellor may soon move to invade the Caemarie. Audio nodded in acknowledgement. I understand and will return shortly. Okay, said Zephyrwind. I will see you then. 2 hours later, Audio returned, having packed his saddlebag with provisions for flight. I packed a few things in my double satchel I thought we might need. A knife, some rope, a bedroll, a compass, and a few other things as well. But we'll have to get most of our food and water along the way. We have a long journey ahead of us. What is our mode of transportation? Zephyrwind asked. Audio adjusted the satchel on his back and pulled the strings tight with his mouth, then turned to Zephyrwind and said, We will fly out tonight and make the 5-day journey back to the Caemarie. Understood, said Zephyrwind, and closed the flaps over her own satchel and cinched up the straps, ready for departure. Then the 3 princesses approached them, Princess Celestia, Princess Luna, and Cadence. Here, you will need this, said Princess Luna, and handed Audio a dark purple purse with a drawstring filled with bits. Thank you, Princess, Audio replied, then lowered his head in honor, then stowed the purse within his satchel. Audio turned to Cadence. Say hi to Shining Armor for me and give my love to Flurryheart. I will, she replied. Are you ready for your journey? The Princess of the Sun asked. Yes, Your Majesty, replied Audio. And you, Zephyrwind? Yes, Your Majesty, she said excitedly. Excellent, exclaimed the princess. We are ready to depart for a 5-day journey, said Audiowave. Princess Celestia smiled and let out a giggle, then looked over at her sister. Oh no, said Luna. You won't be traveling by flight. The region's need is too dire. Sunburst will be teleporting you there shortly. What? I shouted out loud. I can't teleport. I don't want to become part of some tree. Teleporting, as a rule of hoof, is very dangerous work, and takes a tremendous amount of skill for a unicorn to perform. The unicorn and those being teleported have to know exactly what's on the other side, because if you teleport into a solid object, your molecules get scattered into a billion pieces. Princess Celestia turned to Zephyrwind and asked, Zephyrwind, do you know of any open areas outside of the city? Yes, Your Majesty. There's an open patch of desert about 5 miles northeast of Ra'aman in the Caemarie. It's a clearing without any dunes next to the mountain range. We shouldn't have any problems in that area. You can send us there. Oh no, I said and turned to scamper away, my feet slipping on the marble floor. Oh no you don't, said Luna, and zing! A magical ray emanated from her horn and froze me in place with a not-so-flattering look on my face. Looks like I wasn't getting out of this one. Dang it! Caught in her freeze ray from her magic. Again. You're lucky Sunburst's here to cast you away, said Princess Luna. We were going to let Trixie come along and practice her teleportation spells on you, then gave Audio a wry smile. Audio wasn't quite sure if she was joking or not. Trixie was the local magician in Ponyville, but technically she was studying magic and capable of great things. Just not yet. Ugh, I managed to grumble out loud, with one foot barely touching the marble floor, then sighed to myself and thought somehow that would have been worse. Luna turned to Zephyrwind. Are you ready to depart, Zephyrwind? Yes, Your Majesty. Zephyrwind, interlock hooves with Audiowave, said Princess Celestia. Think of a clearing in the open, with no objects around, and concentrate hard. Sunburst? Fare thee well, Audiowave, and good luck. You carry the love of the kingdom with you wherever you go. Sunburst cast his teleportation spell, and just like that, he dropped about 3 feet out of the sky and into the barren desert under a burning sun.